Which RPG do you prefer for open-ended campaign play? Well, that is kind of an interesting question because honestly, I'm not super well suited for open-end campaign play. The main reason is I have Ooh Shiny syndrome. And I like to play different games. So honestly, in an open-ended game, I'd get bored. Now, there are caveats to that. I would be totally willing and have played open-ended games where we take a break, play something else for a while, and then go back to it. That's totally doable. So, to answer the question, which RPG? Um, there should be no surprise when I say Savage Worlds. It's the game I'm comfortable with. I've been running it and playing it for 14 years. Um, so that's a no-brainer. There are some others that would work well that I've played. Various Supers games would work. If you're not concerned with constantly getting better at stuff, I think you could play a pretty long-term game of Fate because one problem you don't have in Fate is characters getting too, quote, powerful to sustain a campaign. So, because in Fate, while you do sort of level up in ways, it's more of a rare occurrence. In most games, you as a GM and as a player group can have some pretty good control over how sustainable characters are in terms of power level, just by controlling how fast you level them up if it's a game with levels, or how much XP you give out if it's a game where you just spend XP to improve your character. One game I think that would be really good for an open-ended type of campaign would be any of the BRP games. So, basic role-playing, especially the flavors of it where you get better at things by doing those things, and then you make a roll to see if those skills improve. I really like that method of character improvement. It's crazy, but if you practice things, you get better at the things that you practice. Go figure. Anyway, there's a lot. I will tell you what I've been doing now. My preferred mode of play, which I think is from another question. I think it's one of the alternate questions out there. I think Tracy Sizemore answered it, and it's going to sound a little similar. I do prefer stories that have a beginning, a middle, and an end now. And to sustain long-term play and to combat my Ooh Shiny syndrome, I have taken to running campaigns in seasons. It takes the sting out if you don't get to the next season, because shows get canceled all the time. But each season has a story arc that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. In fact, it's how I've been running East Texas University. We do a year of school, and then we switch up to a different game for what we call a summer vacation. And that's worked really well. And I will tell you, the time between junior and senior year has been quite a bit longer due to games and schedules. And it's because the sustaining the campaign has worn on me a bit. There's other stuff I want to try. But we will get back to it, and we will finish ETU. So, while there's an answer here, I feel like there's a non-answer as well. So it really, as far as the game goes, there are certain games that are not good for long-term play, but most games are good for long-term play. So it's whatever you like, D&D, whether it's 5th edition or one of the various other flavors. Heck, 4th edition went to 30th level. And, totally doable. Not a lot of people in Savage Worlds have really explored legendary play, which is the point that you get to that most campaigns tend to end or stop. So I'd like to play around with that a little bit, and I actually have a spin-off for my ETU campaign that could play around with legendary play. We'll see. So that's my answer. And so until tomorrow, do good, avoid evil, and play more games.